hit this last time that's very, very important. I'm going to teach something that's technical because I think it's really, really important, but at the same time, if you're not working and you're not on schedule, that is the most important thing of anything. All three of us work hard all summer long, always. Anybody that's ever sold a lot of books works their butts off, okay? So that's, before I say anything, I just want you to remember that. Like it was easy for me to go for my first summer growth because I knew there's sometimes I didn't work as hard as I should have. So all I had to do was work the whole summer, and then I automatically hit growth. But then this summer I'm going to teach what really brought me from about 5,000 to like 88 or so, or 86 or wherever I finished this summer. So what I'm going to talk about is advanced approaching. I think approaching is definitely the most important thing in selling books, and I found a common thread. I feel like when I've talked to all the people that have sold a whole lot of books, over 10,000, from Sheridan McDonald in our group to Jen Jiho to even when I was talking with Charlotte the other day. And so if you want to have a name for this, you can call it A squared for advanced approaching. Ooh. So, all right, advanced approaching. There's one thing that I think we have a miscue with in Southwestern as, well, I'll just ask you this. What is the reason that we approach? And if you're from Michigan State, don't answer this because I've taught this to you. But what is the reason that we approach? Get a sit down? Yep. Yeah, to get in the door is what I get, or to show the books. That's what I feel like is pretty much the conception of why we approach. This is what I think is a misconception. I think that's wrong. I think that it is to get in the door. That is the point of it. But even more, and to really understand the concept of approaching, is to set up your sale. It is to set up the sale. So please write that down. I don't care if you write anything else down this whole time. But my part is going to be on approaching is to set up the sale. How many of you guys use names this summer? Yeah? How many of you guys think you're really effective with your names? I completely believe, you guys, that names are the key to really boosting up. If you're working and you're doing all the other things right, I don't think you can sell more than 3,000 or 4,000 units if you didn't use any names the whole summer. Even if you're the hardest worker ever, I don't think if you just went to every door and you didn't use any names, I don't know that it'd be possible to sell more than 3,000 to 4,000 units. And the more effective you get with your names is really going to keep boosting you up and boosting you up and boosting you up and boosting you up. So that's what I'm going to talk about. And I'm going to talk about the misconception of why we think it's to get in the door. So I'm going to draw Mrs. J here. And this is Mrs. J. And she is inside her house right now, okay? And this is the door. And so you would be like out here, coming to her house with their books. Now, it seems like to me when I was in sales school, and this is okay, and it's great, especially to teach first years because they have to understand the concept before they get advanced. This is why this is advanced. You guys have all had at least one summer under your belt. It seems that we teach no matter what, get in the door. No matter what you can do, get in the door. And that's right because it's easier obviously to get a sale if you get a sit down. But it seems that we think that no matter what, no matter which way that we get inside of a house, no matter which way, when we get inside of a house, we're at the exact same point all of a sudden. Like let's imagine Mrs. Jones on a buying line. And when she is going to buy from you, she is at 100%, okay? Like you have convinced her and got her trust enough where she's going to buy from you, and she's at 100%. It seems that we've taught that no matter how you get in the door, once you get in the door and you're sitting out there, you're at 0%. And this is where I think so many people are really wrong on that. And the way that you approach, if you approach the right way with the right names, when you get inside a house, you can already be at 60, 70%. I mean, like I would say most of us are going to probably be 20, 30, 40% if you get good with your names. If you get really effective with your names, my last day, my best day of the summer is my last day. It's kind of crazy. I sold 330 units or something really easily. Like it was just funny because I knew the right, I knew who I was talking to, and I knew my names really well when I'd meet people. And my last house, my very last sale, I knew I was going to be my best day ever because I was just like, I know who this person is, I know who she's friends with, and I knew after I approached, I was already at 80%, I would say, maybe like 90%. I knew she was going to buy. She just, because knew all of her friends and everything. She just was so ready to buy whatever I had. So, so I think that's really, really, really important. And there's a lot of different ways to do it, but there's a lot of different ways you can categorize your names. But if you know the relationships of people, and this is how I'm going to illustrate this, Mike Ford, this guy right here, hardest worker I know through Southwestern every summer. But if I went to his door in his apartment right now at his house, and I knocked on it to sell books, and I said, "Hey, are you Michael Ford?" And he'd be like, "Yeah." And I said, "Well, I was just talking to Sammy Smith over here, and then I was talking to Danielle Stevens over here, and I wanted to make sure I caught you for a second." I don't think Mike knows his neighbors. Do you know your neighbors in your apartment? I mean, like honestly, and I understand that concept. I understand that's what we teach is to use people around them. But Mike's gonna go.
6-7 years.
You're a door-to-door salesman, obviously. You talk to my neighbor here, my neighbor here, and that's great when you don't have other names. But if people are telling you the relationships behind people, mark that on your map or whatever, and say, okay, this is my best friend, and she lives over here. And when you get over there and you're on there, that's when you're going to say, I was at your best friend's house. Because if I go to Mike's house and I say, hey, are you Mike? He's like, yeah. I was like, well, did Brandon and Bahar and, I don't know, Hans tell you he was going to stop by? His best friends? No. Come on in, you're in without ever having to second approach, without any of that. Like if you're using the correct names, it's so clutch, you guys. It's so key, and it's literally like that. To me, it's a common thread through a lot of people that sell a lot of books. Like, as far as I was talking about last time, your first summer, you remember when you come into Sunday meeting, and it's like your second week, and you're like devastated, you're like falling in, and you're like, gosh, this is so hard. And then they teach you something like the buying atmosphere, and then you're like, that's the key, yes. And then you're like, I'm gonna sell more this week, like that's all I needed. And then you sell 30 more units. But if there's anything that I think is the key, this is one of the most effective things I've ever seen in people that sell a lot of books is really understanding your relationships behind your people. So I'll say that, and then the last thing I hit on last time, I'll hit real quick. Michigan State liked, I taught them how to smile genuinely. This is just my little trick. It's nothing really advanced or anything. But I think a genuine smile is very important also when you approach. And it's so funny being a manager, and you guys will see at sales school watching these first years, and they're so tired and they're pissed. And you're like, all right, smile at every door. And then it's like a kindergarten, like when they take photos in kindergarten for picture day, and everyone's just like, are you the mom? It's like they're just showing all their teeth. But I really think to smile genuinely, this is my little trick, and this might not work for you. But one day I wasn't smiling very well, and I would just say, hey, at every house. And I was like, hey, and I just wasn't smiling my right way. And I realized the whole summer I hadn't even noticed it, but I was saying hola at every house. And it would make me laugh. I don't know why, because people would come out and go hola, and they would think I'm Spanish for a second. And then I'd be like, hey, I'd be like hola, and I would crack up for some reason. But it would be a genuine smile, and people would like that. And I think that's really effective too. So it doesn't have to be hola. It can be bonjour or salutations. Something funny to you if you think it's funny. Anyway, that's all I really have. So, I think we might take questions at the end. Yeah, because we have a lot of people. Thank you. So, all right, that's it.